So now let's talk about the main topic everybody's interested in. How much can you earn from UGC? What to expect? How you should price yourself, etc. Let's talk about all the pricing models, and let's just talk how much you could actually earn per piece. So firstly, UGC is very individual and it depends on your skills. It depends on your experience and other factors as well. You can earn literally from 50 euros per content per piece, per video, per picture, etc., up to I think 500 plus per single piece as well. I was offered very different pricings by the brands who reached out to me actually. So I was offered either 30 euros per piece, 50 euros per piece, 150 euros per piece, even 1,000 for a few pieces. So the pricing was all over the place. And what I noticed that once again, it really depends on where the brand is located, because I feel like the best paying countries are the bigger ones and the ones that are doing a little bit better. So USA is one of them. And what I've been telling other UGC creators or other content creators as well is that you have to choose who to work with. You have to have your target market, and if the prices that are normal in your country do not satisfy you, don't forget that you can also work with clients abroad. You don't get limited as long as you can work their hours, or at least you can communicate during the time they're on, they're awake. You're good to go. I feel like there's this misconception that you can only work in the country you are located in, work with brands in the country where you're located in. This is not the case. You can work with literally any brand from across the world. You're not limited. At the end of the day, you are a freelancer, a contractor, so you don't have a full-time contract that actually forces you to work in the country you are located in. And that's the best part about UGC as well, and content creation in general. So right now, before I tell you how to price yourself, I also want to talk about different pricing models that are quite common in UGC. So what I charge for is per piece. So let's say one reel is X amount of euros, but there are also other creators charging per hour. So depending how many hours they spend on scripting, on let's say filming, editing, etc. There are also other creators that have bundle deals, same as me actually. If a brand wants to work on multiple projects, want to do let's say 3 reels with me, then the price is gonna be a little bit lower than for piece, because once again we want to offer an attractive offer that the brand would benefit from and that we would benefit from as well. From my experience, charging per piece is the best, because you kind of have the price that you usually charge and you can just have a range, let's say from this amount to this amount that you usually charge. And it depends perhaps on revisions. It depends on how much time you're going to spend filming, what are the expectations of the company, if they sent you already a script or not, if they sent you some guidelines or not, right? Maybe if you need to create everything from scratch, then you're going to charge a little bit more. So it would give you that flexibility as well, depending. I feel like charging per hour doesn't really work for the brands, or they don't want to be committed to that, because you may be editing for days and they're definitely not going to want to pay that. But of course, at the end of the day, it's completely your choice. It's up to you. How do you decide to price yourself? How do you decide to position yourself in this field? But what I would recommend taking into consideration is, once again, your experience, your skills. Whether you are very skilled in something, let's say you're really good at storytelling, you're really good at editing, and editing takes you lots of time, I would always recommend not undervaluing yourself, especially even in the beginning, because there are brands that are gonna reach out to you offering, I don't know, 10 euros per video, which is, in my eyes, is unfair. It shouldn't be happening in the first place. Brands should value your time and effort as well, and you shouldn't be working so hard for such a small amount. Of course, it also depends on where you're located. What may seem low for me may seem very good for you. So of course that is a big factor as well. But what worked for me in the past, once again, gonna mention that again, is having a range, saying that I charge from this to this amount, and it depends on these and these and these and these things. So once again, revisions, it depends if I need to create a script myself or not. It depends on how much editing do you want. Do you want a heavily edited video, or do you want just a video cut a little bit and that's it, and maybe added captions, right? That is gonna take me literally 15 minutes to edit, or is it gonna take me, I don't know, 3 hours to edit? So you really need to think what the charge is going to include and what you're willing to do for that amount of money. I would also recommend communicating everything very clearly with the brand as well. Communicate what is included, what is not included, what they need to pay extra for perhaps, so we don't have any surprises from both sides. And of course, if you are quite flexible, especially in the beginning, that you want to reach out to more clients, you want to work with clients, you want to gain that experience, I would recommend being flexible and saying that of course we can discuss what would work for your brand and see how we can negotiate the rate that both sides could benefit. If I'm talking about my pricing and my experience, so I was charging between 30 to 100 euros at first, and it was staying around 50-60 euros usually majority of the times, for a reel, for a single video. And then I moved on to charging 150 to 300 euros per video. So I'm still not at the top tier, but I stayed somewhere in the middle. I think that it is fair for me. I think that my skills and my time needs to be valued, and I think this is the value that I create. And I think that this amount is fair for me, for my time and for my efforts as well. But of course, it's going to be completely different to you perhaps. So what I would recommend doing is once again research how much UGC creators charge in your area or the country you want to market yourself in, your target markets area, and see how much you could earn from it. ChatGPT as well, don't be afraid of it. Once again, see what are the average that they charge and see if you could come up with a number that would fit you and would satisfy you and also not scare the brand from working with you.